Hi everyone, and first of all, happy Raksha Bandhan to each one of you. And so today is a day of celebration. I'm sure you are celebrating today actually, but then this was important. So yesterday, all the LST students has raced to NLU actually, and that's why we waited for today to do this session. I'm sure now you guys are definitely attending this. Okay, so SLAT has given us a surprise. SLAT this year is scheduled in December itself. तो इस बार जो स्लैट है वो मई में ना होकर के just like your CLAT and IELTS paper is happening in December itself, and they have already announced the date. The application is already live. Now the challenge is you will be definitely having your pre-board examination when the SLAT examination will be happening for every student, I believe. क्लैट की अगर बात करें तो क्लैट में शायद मतलब बच भी जाएंगे फर्स्ट वीक सेकेंड वीक से पेपर शुरू होते हैं सो दैट मे बी अ पॉसिबिलिटी बट देन व्हाट हैपेंस हियर इज if we talk about SLAT examination, that's happening on 13th December and 15th of December. I'm sure by that time most schools would have started with their pre-boards actually. So that's a problem which I see, but nevertheless, SLAT is definitely a very important examination because SLAT जो है वो Symbiosis के लिए है, and Symbiosis is one of the finest colleges in our country. So definitely you need to apply for SLAT actually, and that is very important. So SLAT definitely apply तो करना ही है. 5 days after the IELTS paper, the examination is held. So, anyways, what is important to understand is there is not large difference actually when it comes to CLAT and the SLAT paper. Half of the paper, more than half of the paper is almost same. The content which you have to study is the difference which comes in terms of legal knowledge and definitely what I would say is analytical reasoning. So, which will take up before CLAT as well. We'll do that actually. Before I go ahead and do the form filling, help you understand how to fill the form, I have a quick question. You can use the comment box and respond over there. I have a very quick question out here for each one of you. Now, let's say you give the SLAT examination and you are the top scorer of the examination. Will you be shortlisted for the personal interview? Quick yes or no. Will you be shortlisted for the personal interview if you are the topper of the SLAT examination? A quick yes and no in the comment box. I'm waiting for your responses. If you are the top scorer of SLAT, will you be shortlisted for the personal interview? A quick yes or no. The answer is no. You will not be shortlisted for personal interview unless you have done something very specific. What is that? I'll talk about that. Just give you a hint. SLAT is an examination for admissions to all the Symbiosis Law Schools. Now, SLAT is just an examination. Don't forget this. SLAT is merely an examination. If you simultaneously don't apply to the Symbiosis Law Schools, they won't receive your information and they won't give you a call, even if you are the top scorer of the CLAT examination. तो एग्जाम टॉप कर भी जाओगे जब तक सिम्बायोसिस लॉ स्कूल्स के एप्लीकेशन कंप्लीट नहीं करते हो, विच मींस उनको सेपरेट फी पे नहीं होता है. They will not consider your candidature. That is something which is very important. So please pay attention during the session. I'll be quick, but then this is going to be a very important one. How to fill the application form step by step. We'll go ahead. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about the SLAT examination. I'm going to talk about what things you have to take care of before you start the registration process for SLAT 2025. So let's begin. First thing to understand is the timeline. So the form is already live for SLAT 2025. Form already release ho chuka hai. The last date to apply is 22nd of November. Okay, so just remember this date. The last date to apply is 22nd of November. Admit cards for the students will be released on 3rd of December for both the examinations. So SLAT will be conducted on 2 different days. First one being 13th of December, second one being 15th of December. Okay. Now just remember very important aspect over here. This is a Friday. Of course, some of you may have your school examinations on that day. So please check with your school when you are applying for the test one, whether they'll give you the leaves, required leaves to go and write the test. Okay. And you may have your pre-board examination happening on the day when we have the SLAT test one. Now you can write both the test. You have to pay separately for both the test. The best course between the two will be considered by the institutions wherever you will be making the payment. जहां जहां जिस जिस सिम्बायोसिस लॉ स्कूल में आप पेमेंट करोगे, वो दोनों टेस्ट के स्कोर्स को चेक करेंगे. जो आपका बेस्ट स्कोर होगा, विच एवर इज योर बेस्ट स्कोर ऑफ द टू, will be taken into consideration. The timing for the test is not announced. It's a 1 hour test. There is no change in the examination pattern. So it's a 1 hour test. The timing has not been announced. The timing of the test will be released with the admit card, which means you'll get to know the exact timing of the examination, whether it is going to be held at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 noon. That you'll get to know on 3rd of December. The examination is in CBT mode, which is computer-based test, like usual. There's no change over there. So we have legal reasoning consisting of 12 questions, analytical reasoning another 12 questions, logical reasoning another 12 questions, GK 12 questions, and reading comprehension 12 questions. Together a total of 60 questions. There is no negative marking out here. And hence the cutoffs are always on the higher side, because the best strategy here is do not leave any single question. Okay. So this will be a 1 hour paper, computer based test. Better understand it as an online test. You have to go to a center and write the paper over there. Now, few things you must understand, you must remember. You can give both the examination. You can write the paper on 13th December as well as 15th December, or either of it. For every test, there is a application fee of 2,250 rupees. If you apply for both the programs, then your application fee becomes 4,500. Okay. Separate fees has to be paid for each program for each campus. Now we have a Pune campus, we have a Noida campus, we have a Hyderabad campus, and we have Nagpur campus. In Nagpur campus, 25% of the seats are reserved for students from Nagpur domicile. Okay, now Pune has BALLB. Similarly, Noida has BALLB. All the colleges have BALLB and BBLLB. Okay. Now, if you want to apply to BALLB, you have to make an additional payment of 1,000 rupees. If you want to apply to BBLLB, another 1,000 rupees has to be paid. Now, what if I want to consider Noida as well? I want to apply for two campuses. Noida also has BBLLB. Noida also has BALLB. In that case, what will happen? You have to make separate payment of 1,000, separate payment of 1,000 here. Which means if you consider all the campuses, all the colleges, you will be making a payment of 8,000 rupees for all the programs, all the campuses, plus another 4,500 rupees if you want to give both the test, or maybe 2250 if you want to give one test. So at every step there is a payment required. And the question which I asked at the beginning of the session, जो मैंने starting में पूछा था, even if you top the examination, will you be shortlisted for personal interviews? No. You make the payment for the application, you are eligible to write the SLAT examination, but you will not be considered by the respective institution unless you have selected at least one program and made that 1,000 rupees payment, which can be done simultaneously from here itself. Each campus declares separate cutoffs for each of the programs. So for BLLB, there will be a separate cutoff by Pune, by Noida, by Hyderabad, and by Nagpur. Similarly, for BBLLB, each of the campuses will have their own cutoffs. Now, if you apply for both the programs, BLLB and BBLLB, in the same campus, let's say Pune के लिए apply किया है, in that case, what will happen? You will be, if you are shortlisted, if you clear the cutoff, you have applied for both the program, you will be taking only 1% interview. But then if the call is from different campuses, then each campus will conduct its own personal interview. So there are kind of multiple rounds involved, and this is something you have to be careful. Every year I come across students who perform well in the SLAT examination, but they did not pay to the college, thinking that is not required, and hence they did not receive that call even if he had done well, whose chances were really higher to get selected. Okay. The written examination SLAT will carry 70% weightage, and 30% weightage will go to the personal interview. Actually, that's how the final selection will be done among the students who will be shortlisted for the next stage. Okay, so I hope you have understood making payment for the program for the campuses is equally important. Otherwise, you will end up writing the examination but may not be considered for admission for the other colleges. Forget about may, you will not be considered. Okay. Now, before you start registering for SLAT 2025, what are the requirements? What are the documents you need? First of all, you need a latest color photograph of yours, the size of which has to be between 10 KB to 5 MB. For students from general category, no documents is required. But for the students who are from scheduled caste category, scheduled tribe category, those with physical disabilities, and the students from defense category, the certificate has to be uploaded at the time of registration. Certificate should have been issued by an appropriate authority. For the students belonging to SC category and ST category, the certificate applicable for only the benefit in state will not be considered valid. Let me make it simple. Your certificate should have been issued by Government of India. The certificate should have been issued by Government of India. If your certificate in the category of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe is by the state and your caste is not considered in the central list, you are not eligible for reservation benefits in the Symbiosis Law Schools. There are no other reservation criteria. Other than this, we have supernumerary seats for Kashmiri migrants, Kashmiri residents actually. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let's move on. Let's begin and look at the registration process. The first thing first is you have to go to the portal, which is set-test.org, set-test.org. That's the official portal. You'll see some details still about CLAT 2024 examination, but nothing to worry about. What you will do is you'll click on this button, which is apply now for SLAT 2025. So this is where you have to go once you are on the homepage, which is set-test.org. उसके बाद आप इस बटन पे क्लिक करोगे, apply now for SLAT 2025. The moment you do that, this page will appear, which will be about SLAT 2025, Symbiosis Law Admission Test 2025. Now you cannot log in. You cannot log in because you do not have the SLAT ID and the password. So the first thing which you have to do is you have to register. You click on this button, register. But my advice to each one of you, before you register, let's do have a quick look at the instructions, the payment instructions, the admit card instructions, the dates, and the list of the test cities where you can take the examination. The help desk details are also given over here. And there is a brochure out there, the admission bulletin, which talks about the reservations, which talks about the documents required, which talks about the cities in which the examination will be held. The first step to begin is to register. Okay, so we'll click here and we'll go ahead with the registration process. The moment you click on registration, the terms and conditions will pop up on your screen, which gives specific instructions about important aspects as far as the form and the examination is concerned. The first instruction is turn off your autofill option. Autofill हमें पता है कई बार गड़बड़ कर देता है. So best is to turn off your autofill option in your browser because wrong information may get captured. Photograph is definitely required in JPG, JPEG, PNG, the image formats basically. And as I mentioned earlier, 10 KB to 5 MB. The photograph should be from the last 6 months. Okay, don't put a very old photograph. Now, do read the instructions. I'm just making a quick, I'm passing it quickly actually. So it talks about the dates, which I've already shown you. The results will be declared on December 26th. Now, the instructions for the registration is also given. You have a bit of an idea over here that is given out here actually. Now, of the total intake in each of the Symbiosis Law Schools, 15% is reserved for students from scheduled caste category, 7.5% for scheduled tribe category. 3% reservation is available to the students from PWD category, and 5% at SLS Pune is for defense quota, which means children's and wards of defense personnel. Now, when we talk about defense personnel, we talk about servicemen or ex-servicemen of Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Indian Air Force. The paramilitary is not considered for reservation benefit. Please remember this, or the police forces are not considered. Only Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Indian Force personnel or ex-servicemen, their votes are considered for this reservation, and this is only available at Symbiosis Law School, Pune. Okay. So that all instructions are given over here. 2 seats per program are available for Kashmiri migrants, Kashmiri Pandits, and Kashmiri Hindu families in Kashmir valleys. Okay, so migrants and non-migrants. The international candidature is above this actually, so they have separate seats for that. Nothing to worry about that. Now, as far as PWD category, these types of disabilities are covered: vision impairment, hearing impairment, locomotor disabilities, mental retardation, multiple disabilities, dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. Okay, so only these are considered as far as Symbiosis is concerned. Once you have read the instructions, then you have to click on this checkbox, which is clicking here. You confirm that you have read the bulletin. So, which means you are confirming that you have understood everything, and whatever information you will be providing, you proceed with the registration, will be true actually. So, you have to click on this checkbox and submit on continue. Once you submit on continue, then it will ask for some basic details. First thing first, you have to fill your name. Now, the name should be as per your 10th or 12th mark sheet or certificate. From the drop down, you will select your date of birth, and then you will select your category, which category means whether you belong to general category, scheduled caste category, scheduled tribe, differently able, or Kashmiri migrant. So this has to be selected from the drop down, and then you have to fill your you have to give your communication details, which is you'll submit your mobile number, you'll submit your primary email, and you have to retype your primary email over here. So mobile number and email is where you have to be careful about actually. If you belong to SC and ST category, the specific instructions are given that caste certificate only issued for state government benefits will not be accepted, which means the certificate should be by central government. And if the certificate has been issued in vernacular medium, then it should be supported by a certified English translation issued by a competent authority, which means your caste certificate should be in English. Get it translated if it is not already there by a competent authority. So get it done actually if it is in the vernacular medium. Okay, so that's how it is. Then you'll talking about your the class 12 details. You have to select your stream basically over here, and once you have selected your stream, then you move on. Pre-filled, the two checkbox will be pre-filled, test 1 and test 2. You may go ahead for both the tests. You may decide to give one test. What I want you to remember is the first test is on a Friday. Check with your school about pre-boards and whether they'll be lenient enough to allow you to skip the pre-board and take the SLAT paper. Please remember this. The second test is on a Sunday. Just to remind you, you can give both the tests. The best course will be considered. What I have done is I have selected just one for myself, and then I'm moving on. So so this is how it will appear for everybody. Now, once you select the date, if you have selected both, then both options will appear. Otherwise, only one option will appear. Now, here, what you can do is, once you select this checkbox, then your test city preferences are to be given. So, where do you want to give your examination? Select the city which is near to your residence, or the city where you are residing at itself is an examination city. Then better pick that at the first place. I'm sure you don't want to travel much in December. Okay. Then you have to upload your photograph. Okay, then you have to upload your color photograph here, and then click on the checkbox which says that you have verified your name, date of birth, category, photograph, test date, and test city, and this cannot be changed at a later stage or altered at a later stage. My suggestion is, please be careful. Please understand, for every single test the cost is 2,250 rupees. Please understand this. Okay. Now, save and continue. The pop-up appears, which gives your name, date of birth, category, and email ID. You have to confirm by clicking on OK if everything is right, and then you'll get a OTP on your mobile. Okay. Once you submit the OTP, it will take you to the payment page. I selected only one test for the demonstration purpose. So the fee for me is 2,250 rupees. The payment page appears like this, and on the bottom of the payment page you have instructions. You can read the instructions, and then if, you can click here to press this button, click here to pay. Okay, so you can see this checkbox already there. I have selected SLAT Test 2, which is on 15th of December. The fee for me is 2,250. If you select both, the fee will become 4,500. Okay, in that case, click here to pay. Once you click here to pay, you'll take you to the payment page. You complete your payment, you make the payment. Net banking, credit card facilities available out there. Once you have done the payment, then the form gets populated once again, pre-filled. You have your applicant name, you have your date of birth pre-filled. Now you have to select your gender, male, female, transgender, whatever case is applicable to you, and from the drop down, select the nationality. Category is already pre-filled, which I have selected earlier during the first part of the registration. Then I have to type my address for communication, my address, my residence address from communication. So I can only select state from the drop down. Rest everything has to be typed. So the address has to be typed, the city has to be typed, and the pin code has to be typed. Okay. My mobile number is already pre-filled. The first step of the registration. I am required to provide the alternate mobile number, father or mother or guardian, so which I have to type over here actually. Okay, so I have to give my parents mobile number or guardian's mobile number. My primary email is already pre-filled. Now it will ask for my academic qualifications, my earlier qualification details, which is class 10th. Okay, so I'll have to select the board from the drop down. Year of passing, for majority of you, passing year would be 2023 unless you have completed it earlier. Okay, and then you have to submit your percentage of marks, the aggregate percentage of marks. Okay, marks has no role to play as far as Symbiosis admissions are concerned, so put the aggregate marks over there. Then you have to submit your class 12 details. Now the moment you select past, okay, if you have already completed your class 12th, let's say somebody completed class 12th in 2024, then you have to submit the percentage of marks obtained and the year of passing. For others, what you'll do is from the drop down, you'll select appearing. Okay, you'll select appearing. All those students appearing for the board exam in 2025 will select appearing, and you need to provide your stream. That's it. Then the test details will come pre-filled. The test center details will come pre-filled over there, the one which I have selected. And then we have to select the programs. Remember, the number of programs you select, multiply it by 1,000. That's the cost of the additional cost of the application. So if I select BALLB, BBLLB, both or either of it at Pune, it will ask me a question about the defense quota, children wards of defense personnel for Symbiosis Law School, Pune. Now, please remember this fact which is given over here. The term defense personnel would mean only those serving retired defense personnel from the Army, Navy, and Air Force. It has TK. So, plus remember this, paramilitary is not considered. If this applies to you, select yes or select no. Okay, if this applies to you, select yes. If it does not apply to you, select no. Actually, this would not be applicable for other colleges, but for Nagpur, for both the programs, it will ask about domicile. Okay, it will ask about domicile. Now, please remember, for every program you select over here, you have to make additional payment of 1,000 rupees multiplied by 1,000 every time. If you don't make this payment of 1,000 rupees, what happens? You can only give the examination. You will not be considered for further process, which is personal interview, even if you have done well in the examination. Okay, and then some basic questions. How did you learn about SLAT? Internet, friends, family, and all those. Are you a first generation learner? Yes or no when it comes to law, actually, as the case may be. So if your father and mother are already lawyers, they have studied law, then it will be no for you. If not, then it will be a oh, okay. So first generation learner over here means the college completion. So if your mom and dad have not completed graduation, then you'll select yes, you are going to study graduation for the first time in your family. If not, no. The photograph is there for preview, actually, check that. and then it will ask for the payment details for the colleges. You have to make payment for the colleges. So I just selected for the demonstration purpose BLLB honors at Symbiosis Law School, Pune. So it is asking me for 1,000 rupees. If you don't make the payment, remember, you'll not be considered. You can check your mail from said secretariat over here. You can preview your form over here actually. Check if every detail is correct or not. And from the summary button, you can check your see personal details completed, upload document completed. I selected open category, which is applicable to me. Then I have no, I don't have to submit any document. But for the students who are from differently able category, SC category, ST category, Kashmiri migrants category, Nagpur domicile, and defense category, appropriate certificates have to be uploaded in the application form. So that's how you have to fill the application form. If you have any query regarding the SLAT application process, please feel free to put that in the comment box. Okay. Normally, SLAT happens in the morning, even SET happens in the morning hours, but we don't know as of now. They have not mentioned the timing yet. I expect that to happen around 10 a.m. only on both these dates, actually. Generally, the SET authorities tie up with TCS IM, and so at those centers, the examinations are conducted, but they have not revealed it yet. In fact, the college websites are still not updated for 2025. Okay, so speculation is not something which is good. I've always told you, we are learners here, we are not astrologers. Okay, please remember this. Don't speculate. Happens in morning, evening, how does it matter actually? Okay, it will be a 1 hour test. You have to travel, go back, go take the test, come back home. That's how it's going to be. Any other questions? Feel free to put that. But don't forget to make application for the programs and the colleges. Okay. Okay, so that would be all for today. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Do subscribe. Yes, SLAT is very, very easy examination, and that's why the cutoffs are always on the higher side. This time it was slightly difficult compared to the other years. Cutoffs came down a little bit actually, but in the earlier years, the cutoff has been like for Pune, for the BLLB, it has even touched 52 out of 60 actually. A 50 is considered to be a good score, but sometimes you may fall short. So I hope that answers. It's one of the very easiest law entrances you will come across actually. Chalo guys, see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and press the bell icon to receive updates about the sessions, about the videos on the regular basis. All the best. Happy Raksha Bandhan once again.